to be make it a right. But first of all, don't take intellectual property as one of the legal requirement of your business. Intellectual property is a requirement to grow your business, protect your business, earn credibility of your customers, earn credibility of your investors, earn credibility of your peers. So that is the intellectual property, right? Now I will share my screen and I will present few things. So for all the students who want to be an entrepreneur, who are into startups, don't ignore intellectual property. So I think, let me start slide. Yeah. So please unmute yourself if you're not able to hear me, because I can't see chat here. I will be speaking on the platform only. And if my screen is not visible to you, PPT is not visible to you, please unmute and let me know. So I will start with this. So of course, in a startup, right? In a startup or in career, right? Since you are students and you are looking into the career part as well, there is no shortcut to success. For example, right? You must be seeing on social media, GeoMeet and Zoom, right? There should not be a shortcut to it. And I can share, and I will be sharing an example where a company took a shortcut and they have to close doors after being the biggest manufacturer or seller of mobile phones, right? So ensure that the intellectual property is being created by you, and ensure that intellectual property has been respected by you of others. You have to respect others' intellectual property as well, right? So this is the power of patent. I think everybody knows here Harley Davidson, right? And if nobody knows, you can search on it. So when Harley Davidson started manufacturing their bikes initially, they ignored the intellectual property of another company and started using their clutch design. Once they get the good customer, they were getting good orders. They were sued by that company, and Harley Davidson has to sell out or have to scrap all 150 bikes they have manufactured, and they started from zero. It's everywhere available. So, and this is, I'm not talking about this century, not the previous century. I'm talking about somewhere early last century, right? 1970, when the Harley had started. Imagine. So the power of patent was that time, and it's more powerful today, right? So that is the power of patent, and that is business. And if you make it legal, means you file patent for it, right? File a patent application, get a grant, then it's make your right a legal right, right? So this is the power of patents, one of the part of intellectual property. Second, everybody knows about this, right? I think everybody wear jeans, right? Maybe now, not nowadays because everybody working from home, right? But yes. So did anybody, right here, I have looked into what these reverts are, why these reverts are being used in genes. There's a reason to it, and this is the reason. That is, a pattern is there. So there was a person who used to repair pants, denim pants, right? And he
Excuse me, sir. Sir, your screen isn't visible right now. Your
is not
presentation.
okay. So let
Can you
me see.
present it again? It will be fine.
Is it correct? Is it all
Sir,
right?
actually, it's visible.
Okay. To few of them, it's not. Okay. So let me try this. Is it okay? I will not use slideshow. I will just use the PowerPoint. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I will just use this. Though it's just a information sharing session, right? So this genes reverts, right? The person who was manufacturing or who was repairing these genes came with an idea to use copper reverse to give force to strengthen the genes joints, right? He went to the company owner of the straws, right? That I don't have money to file patent. Let's join hand and file a patent application. They filed patent application together, right? And they got the patent. Imagine, see, when they got the patent, right? They filed in 1873, they got the patent in 1874, 2 centuries before. At that time, patent was in talks, and now it is more in talks. It's more powerful. This is just business thing, right? But legal is 20%, business is 80%. You have to file it to get a right. As you register your bike, register your car, and you register your home, right? So these are the things which is required, right? So this is it makes your right legal, right, legal, okay. And that is the importance of patent. So let me come back to latest examples. These was the a bit old examples, right? This is one of the very, I would say, good slide where we talk about the impact of respecting others' intellectual property, creating your own intellectual property. If you see the first matter, which is between a Switzerland company and Indian company. So the Indian company, which is Mexicon Healthcare Private Limited, you can Google it. This company has been closed because they were using Swiss companies' IP, and they get sued in Delhi High Court. They have to pay 10 lakhs and they have to close doors. Imagine the money that been involved into been incurred into starting a business, and then you have to close the doors, right? So this is really important to respect others' IP. Coming to just give me a second. I will just give me a second. Sorry for the background noise. Yeah. So coming to the Ericsson and Micromax, I think Micromax, everybody is aware of Micromax, I guess, right? So what happened with Micromax? Why you can't see today Micromax phones? Because the Micromax has been sued by Ericsson in 2012 when they were at the peak. They were the largest seller of mobile phones for their patent infringement. They fought little legal battle in the court but could not do anything. They have to settle the matter after 5-6 years, right? Spend a lot of money on the lawyers and legal things, and they have to take license of Ericsson, and there they lost the cost competitiveness of the mobile phone, and that's why you don't see them today in the market. That's the reason, right? And that's why you have to be very diligent enough when you're starting a product, starting a startup, starting a service, that whether you are infringing other IP rights or not. Don't say that, okay, who will catch me, right? I'm just in a small town, or nobody will come to you when you're a small fish. When you become a big fish, then people will come to you, and then it's difficult for you to close the doors. Like Micromax, they started in 2006. Ericsson got the patent in 2007. They didn't sue them in 2007. They waited until it becomes a big company, right? So that is really important. Don't say that IP infringement may not affect me today. And we have to get rid of the notion that IP is not enforceable. Nothing happens with IP in India. People still can copy. They can copy, but you have to enforce. And people are getting sued. People are closing, shut down companies because they have been sued for IP infringement, right? Now, coming to this is a very good example of a Pune firm, right, which filed patent application in US and sued the Royal Enfield in US itself. So that is, when you create an IP, ensure that you create a good IP, right? And then you enforce that IP in any country where you have filed it. So that is really important. So this is the legal framework of intellectual property. I'm talking about patents primarily because we all are technical people, right? We are involved into technology, whether it's a service, it's a process, or a product. And patent is one of the strongest IP right, which makes company very, very valuable. So these are the examples. If you don't respect, you have to close doors. If you create IP, you have the edge over others. No. These are the few benefits for different category of people. Like startups, right? There is a 35% higher chances of getting a success than others when you have a patent or a trademark filed, right? And if you have a market barrier, and in all the investor pitches, right? In all the investor pitch or pitch deck, they always ask you, what is your market barrier? If you have filed a patent, that's your market barrier for this, right? That's, and if you say, I have filed a patent application, that is your market barrier, right? So these are the things really important for you. And I am not reading these benefits, you can read it yourself, right? And for students, if you are a student, right, if you file a patent for a unique thing, there is a possibility of getting starting as a company, right, on the basis of the patent itself. I will share an example with you, right? Or secure an admission in other bigger universities, right? So these are the benefits. Now, coming to the part where this IP innovation, right, gels up with the particular success of a company. Since you all are budding entrepreneurs, right? So success revolves around these points. This is my personal, I would say, diagram where I think it should be there. Like agile, you should be agile enough to pivot your solution. Many companies, due to COVID, has pivoted their solutions. Understanding of the situation, understanding of the market, understanding of the product. Many a times, right, when you are innovating something, you're producing a product, you don't understand that you're innovating. You forget to do a due diligence to check whether your innovation is patentable or not. And when it is in public domain, people use your product, enhance it, file a patent, and then come to the market and try to take your share, right? Then acceptance of failure. If you failed, look it into why you have failed, learn it, and improve yourself. Then you have to be dynamic for sure. And of course, it's about, you have to know your customer, right? Why a customer? Why we bought Nike, right? Why we bought Adidas shoes? Because the name is associated with it. If I give you the same shoes, white label, will you pay 8,000 rupees for that? No. The moment I put that tick mark of Nike, you will pay 10,000, even 15,000 for the shoe. Technology is same, white label and Nike. It's the same thing, but there's a trademark associated. There's a trademark, there's a credibility, there's a trust on the name. That's why you pay 15,000. You don't pay 15,000 for the material. You pay for the patent in the shoes. You pay for the trust created by this Nike in the market. That is the power of trademark. And of course, innovations, you have to keep innovate yourself to get into the success part. Yeah. So these are the common types of intellectual property, right? Patents, trademark, copyright, GI, IP, and design. So the most important part for any startup is patents. Then trademark, your brand name. You have to have a good brand name, right? And you should not be copying others, because there is a possibility that you may be sued for infringement. And if you sued, then it will hamper your reputation and you have to change your name. And branding is a very expensive exercise, right? Similarly, copyright, right? And these things. And design is for the looks. Design, copyright, yeah, you can think of, but I would say, since we are talking about startup successes, patent and trademark is really important, right? And coming to next part, what IP can do, right? So yeah, so in IPR, what IPR can give it to you? It gives you credibility. As I mentioned, Nike, it gives you more business. If you have a strong trademark, you can franchise your things, you can license your things, right? If you have a patent, you can improve your business. For example, if I have a patent in Australia or in US, I can easily find a partner, because I don't have a fear that if he copies, what happens next. If he copies, he will be sued for the infringement, right? And people will come forward to be partner with you because you have the intellectual property in their own country, which is highly valuable and highly regarded, right? Similarly, valuation, like what happened with Google, right? Google bought Motorola and they sold physical assets to Lenovo and only keep the patent portfolio with them and earning the license fee. They are not doing anything. They have a patent, they are just earning the license fee on it. That's it, right? And licensing, I can share an example of Uber. Like anybody can Google and search about it, like how Uber built their muscle power. They went to AT&T, strategically deal with them to get the patents because they don't have money to R&D, they don't have money to spend on patent filing and granting process. They straightforward went to AT&T and took the patent and start like launch their services. With this, they created a market barrier, right? Of course, there is a deal. Like you can also look for similar patents or patent owners. You can strike a license deal with them just to create the market barrier, right? Others IPR, yes, as I mentioned, Micromax example, right? You should be careful about this IPR. You can enforce, as I mentioned, the examples, enforcement as there, right? Filing, and it gives you more power. So this is intellectual property, and if you file it, do the due diligence, file in the patent office, trademark office, get the right, it is enforceable. So the legal framework of the intellectual property is that you first think about, secure it, file it, get the grant, make it a legal right to enforce. So this is in crux, I can say that, because I'm not going to the details of it because it's not required at this stage. Right? So till now, anybody has any question, anything? I can share today's slides. Yeah, no issues. But any questions? Am I going slow? Am I going fast? Because the whole purpose of spending 1 hour with every one of you is to make you understand the importance of intellectual property, right? Anybody, any question? I will just pause for 1 minute. Please write down in the chat. So no questions. Yeah. So I will keep going on my slides. This is the example of patents now. Gray orange, like since you are a student, you can search on Google about it, right? These two guys went for training in a warehouse nearby their college. They were in BITS Pilani, right? And they found a problem there. What was the problem is that people like in the warehouse is around 1 lakh square feet or something, right? It's a very big warehouse. Whenever there is a new packages are coming up, they need to be racked up in the particular racks, right? And when there is an order, package needs to be pulled out from the rack and come to the delivery point. So they are two processes. They were getting the human, like one man has to go to the rack and find out. It's taking a lot of time, right? And then what happened? They went back to the college, developed two robots, filed one patent application, and went back to the company that we have developed this robots, right? This is our patent application. Do you want to buy these robots? So what they did, they saw a problem, created a solution, first filed a patent application. They secured their intellectual property by filing. Though it's not secure totally because it's pending, but if it's good patent application, people can see there is a value, right? Then they went to the company for the orders. And look at this company today. It was in 2012, and you can review the figures of gray orange today. And they didn't stop filing patent application. They keep filing patent application and keep innovating. Going back to my slide of innovations, agile, dynamic, understanding, right? You have to keep innovate yourself. Otherwise, there will be an issue like Nokia, right? So this is a simple example of a student entrepreneurs. If you read about this company, right? Today people are talking about gray orange is not doing good, but it's 8 years. They have created a good money out of it, right? This is a very simple and best example for everyone in the audience today. Read through it, understand what they do it and how IP played their role. So IP is really important. They immediately file the patent application. So this is really important for everyone, right? Now, coming to one of the example of commercialization, everybody drink these Coke cans, right? And there was a problem when opening these cans, right? Initially, when Coke launched their cans, right? So one lady, she thought of a solution by using this kind of opening arrangement. She filed a patent application and went to Coke for licensing. Then she was earning in one day around 148,000 UK pounds at that time. This is a story of around 80 years old. Imagine the amount of money she has earned from the patent application. So if you don't want to start a company, start innovating, solve the problem of a company and sell them a patent. Then also you can make a money out of it. Like 3M, right? 3M is a company who is in everything, but they don't own any of the things. They only own the patents behind it. They only own the trademark behind it, and everything is out licensed. They are just earning the royalty. They are doing the R&D, generating patent applications, filing patents, and that's it, and licensing the patent technology to the different people. So this can be also a good company. So intellectual property is really important for every startup in every which way. Coming to next commercialization thing, trademarks. I already took this example, right? Imagine if I say, okay, Levi's jeans, right? I just remove the label. Would you be able to buy it at 2,500 or 5,000? No, nobody will buy it. But the moment I put this logo on it, the trust, the credibility, right? The confidence comes in. And these all companies, they don't have factories at all. They have licensed all manufacturing to the different factories where all these four genes, everything is being manufactured. There is a possibility that Nike and Adidas shoes are being manufactured in single factory on different assembly lines. But there's a price difference, right? Because of the trademark. So this is, brand name is really important. Your brand name, and you should think of your brand name at the initial stage, right? Now Coke. Why this example is there? Not everything should be filed for patent, because if you file a patent application, you have to disclose your application, your concept to others to some extent. If Coke would have filed a patent application, they have to disclose the formulation to some extent, and people would have able to make it up. That's why they kept it trade secret. So when you're doing a due diligence, you're preparing an IP strategy, right? Then you should calculate all pros and cons of disclosure of your concept. Okay, so that is really important. So these are the few benefits of intellectual property, that it can be acquired, it can be sold, it can be licensed, and soon banks will be providing loans, right, for intellectual property. If your intellectual property is there, it comes into a company evaluation. So what is your company valuation? It depends on your intellectual portfolio also. And there are few VC funds which are coming up now. They are only looking for those startups who has intellectual property. Reason being, they want to have defensibility in the concepts, right? Especially deep technologies. And then, of course, customer confidence, right? Trust builds up when you have an intellectual property. So this is about the crux of the intellectual property and the various examples that how you can make it. So I will now take an example that how you can work it out, like in your startup, right? Let's take an example of a startup. So I will skip few or okay. So let me take this few formal things, right? So patent is for 20 years. So when you draft a patent application, I'm coming to the 20% part of the IP, that is legal framework. When you draft a patent application, you should think of 20 years from today, because you have to enforce in the 19th year also, and people should not work it out or find a via media to excuse your patent. So that's really important. And after 20 years, it's all in public domain, right? And this is exclusive right to make, use, sell, and import. That is really important, because Mike, when you say that, okay, I'm importing the product, and these guys are manufacturing in China, right, or in other country, so they have to bear with the infringement. No, the person who is importing the product in India is liable for infringement. That's why all the Chinese people, they don't have their own established distribution channel in India, because they know that they are infringing patents and these patents will exist in India. And that's why Micromax was been duped. Micromax has been and there are many people who have been sued for patent infringement because they were importing the infringing products from India or from China, right? So one has to be very careful, because I have seen that many people into electrical vehicles, right, they are importing products from China, right, without doing due diligence and launching their product. They are spending a lot of money without doing due diligence of infringement risk. That is really important, that you should do a due diligence of infringement risk, right? What can be patented? Any product which is new and inventive, right, can be product or process, anything. So on this slide, I just want to mention that don't think whether this is patentable or not patentable on your own. Try and get it looked into by any expert, or at least put more extra efforts on your concept to ensure that the patentability is there or not. Don't leave it, oh, this seems simple and let's not file a patent for this. Anybody can do this. It may not be patentable. Let's not waste money in it. Remember, the investment in your intellectual property is an investment in your company, right? Which may give you 100x ROI, not in the long run, maybe in the short run. Going back to the gray orange example, they might have spent 1 lakh rupees in filing a patent application, but see where they are today, just in 8 years, right? So it is an investment. Don't take it as an expense. Even in your balance sheet, mention that as your investment in intellectual property. Don't mention that as an expense. So these are the few examples of product and processes, right? This is pretty simple. And this is the enforcement slide. There is no criminal remedy, means you cannot get someone go to police station and complain about patent infringement. You have to go to court, file an infringement case, and then take a cease and desist order from the court of the infringing products, right? So that is the legal. I'm not getting into too much of legal thing, but your patent should be enforceable. And on this slide, I want to mention, when you file a patent, then your patent should be grantable, means it should comply with Patents Act of India. It should be commercially viable, it should be well written, and it should be enforceable. It should stand the scrutiny of court of law, right? These things should be in your patent. And global patent, globally, today, every concept, you should think of making it global, because Indian market can give you sustainability, may give you some profit, but the larger chunk of profit can come from outside, because if you are selling your product there, you are earning 75 times higher in rupees or 50 times higher, depends on the dollar rate, right? So that is really important. You think of global side. Don't think of India, and don't think that patents exist in US, it's not in India, let's make a product out of it. No, it may give you some short-term benefits, but not a long-term. It will not make you a good, successful entrepreneur for a long term. Right? Now, people usually ask me that how to develop commercially viable and patentable innovations. Right? Now, I will take a simple example to it. Let me just check whether there's an example. Okay, there are a few questions. I will take them. This is everybody. I think I should request that should give utmost attention to these few following slides. Right. So let me start slide. Sure. So this is a simple problem, right? Whenever you must have seen in your colleges, right? Whenever a speaker comes in, he has to stand on podium, right? And you have to adjust the microphone, because at times, and imagine, and you must have seen in various UN conferences, countries from China, India, Nigeria, Africa, like other countries of Africa, US and Australia, like people ranging from 5 feet till 7 feet are coming and speaking. Everybody touch that microphone and speak. times people have a habit to speak very closely, right? And that makes that microphone very vulnerable for communicable diseases, because if microphone is near to me and I'm touching that microphone, right, so I'm putting the germs, anything which I have on my hand or in my saliva, right? So that's really important, and this nobody is seeing this. That's a very big problem, but nobody is even noticing this problem, right? And saying, okay, we have to deal with it. What is the solution? This is a solution. Use servo motors, sensors, right? A good algo which decides the height, and it will be automatic adjust the microphone. Simple. This idea came to my team, me and my team, our mind. And first of all, we thought, okay, what to do next? What we did, we filed a provisional patent application. Then we validated this microphone. We made a prototype, POC of it, right? And then we filed an international application also, because as I mentioned, UN conferences happens in Europe and various other countries. So everywhere, wherever this podium is used, especially people have realized the spreading of these kind of diseases by touching, by using this COVID-19 example. So this makes it more important to have these kind of microphones everywhere in the world. Imagine the market, right? But if we would have seen, okay, this is a simple solution. Let's make a microphone and not file a patent, but we file a patent application and file international application. Soon we will be filing patent application in other countries, right? So this is today. This is PCP, right? And this is a small video how it works. So this is the prototype that we are manufacturing, 3D printed. Now the real product is getting manufactured. I hope everybody can see the video here, right? So this is kind of rotation, we got it. And imagine, and this microphone we are trying to launch on August 15. You will see these microphones in every university, everywhere, because this is not an accessory, this is need of an hour, right? So what we learned here, if you have an idea, right, look into it, find a solution to it. You can also find a solution by using patent databases. Find a solution, see whether this is patentable or not. If it, file a patent application. If it's not patentable, try to make it patentable. Then validate the idea and start manufacturing it. It gives you more credibility. And this is live example. And you will see this microphone, like we will be terming it as Baudik microphone. You will see that microphone in the industries, in the universities, wherever you go, right? Within 1 year, you will see them. So this is, a startup should look into it. Look into the patentability. Ensure you have the all legal framework corrected. Then use the market and then start evaluating and manufacturing. This manufacturer is in Hubli, but I'm not worried at all. I'm not worried that he can copy my patent, my technology. He can, but I have the patent in India. If it start manufacturing, I can go to the court and stop him. So this is the importance of intellectual property. And Baudik microphone, because Baudik Venture is a brand, we have a registered trademark, we have a registered logo, we can use that. That's a brand, right? So this is what I always suggest to students, right? That do not reinvent the wheel. People are like 50% of startups whom I met, they are reinventing the wheel, right? But don't do it. Do your thorough search. Don't search on Google, search on patent databases, because 70% of information of patent databases is not in Google, right? Then find a problem. You have industries across your colleges, and if you're a startup, you can see industries. You can see who's your target customer. Who is your target customer? In the microphone example, my target customer was the microphone manufacturing. And who is the end user? End user is the person who is speaking it. Did I solve his problem? Yes. So I did solve a problem. Find a patentable thing. Commercial aspects. Yes, it is sellable, right? If I the price point of this microphone would be somewhere around 5,000 rupees, right? If I have to export it, maybe a bit larger, but 5,000 rupees, you're safeguarding from the disease from anyone. There's people are buying ventilators at home of 15, 20, 25,000 rupees. Why can't we have this podium microphone, right? Pitch and you can go to the investors or the customers or the companies to pitch for an idea. You can go to the companies like Gray Orange did. Go to the companies. I saw a problem in your company. I have a solution. I have a patent pending. Let's do some business together, and then try to license or try to work out, make a company out of it, and start innovating. So this is what I always tell to most of the students, right? So I have few more examples, right? I will quickly take them, and I think we have good questions. I will take them. I will ensure that I will try to answer each and every one. So benefits of patenting, right? Just read through. I have talked about each of them. If you want to take a picture of it, you can take it, right? So it's earn money by selling or commercializing a patents. Don't file patent for sake of patents, right? File patents when there is a commercial need, when you can sell that patent. That will just justify your investments, right? Create barrier entry for the competitors and other things. Few examples, I quickly take them because in the last 20 minutes, I want to take questions. These are the educational entities and which are monetizing patents. This is the lab and the Northwestern University. So most of the universities outside India, like in US and Europe, they are not earning from tuition fees. Germany, if you go to Germany, they will say zero tuition fees. Why? Because they're earning from royalties of their patent applications on patents. They don't need tuition fees. They need brains who can come to their R&D lab and generate patents for them so that they can have a 10x or 20x fold of income from just from tuition fees, right? Similarly, Qualcomm and IBM. You open any phone, you will find a Qualcomm chip in it. Qualcomm filing 10,000 of patents applications every year. How they are innovating? Because they are keep finding problems. They are keep finding problems and filing patent applications for that. Qualcomm doesn't have a factory. They have licensed that thing, right? So they have only patent. Similarly, IBM. So companies creating entry barriers. I don't know whether, though I think you guys must have been very small in age when this Gillette Mark III, three-blade came in, right? They filed around 20 to 25 patent applications just to secure this three-blade thing in 2000 to 2010, and nobody able to copy it. Now, in my knowledge, most of the people are using three-blade Gillette razors because they created a market barrier, right? Now, what are not benefits of patenting? See, if you don't patent, you provide a solution. If, for example, if the microphone thing I have not created, filed a patent, I give it to people for free and start using it, they would have bring more things into it like AI and ML and a number of things and file a patent for that. And I would have been paying for my own invention as a license fee or as a customer to for my patent, which they have patented, right? So there is a possibility if you don't file a patent for your innovation, you might be paying for your invention to others. That's a major drawback of not patenting. So these are the few examples, right? For example, there was an Italian inventor, right, who has even he has a pioneer work of like actually he could not pay the renewal fee at that time in 1874 for his patent, right? Caveat means nobody else can do a patent. At that time, patent laws were different, but Graham Bell was able to do it. So that's why everybody knows Graham Bell. Nobody knows this Italian inventor. Whereas he had filed a few initial patents for telephone. Similarly, Johns, right? He developed polio vaccine, but he didn't file a patent for that. He would have been earning a lot, but now he is not earning at all. So with this, right, and Yes, for any queries like which I'm not able to answer to you guys, you can write your queries on this email address. I will ensure that your query will be replied in 24 hours or maximum 48 hours, right? So you can write to us. We are there to help startups in ideating, in creating and protecting innovations and building business out of it, right? So with this, I will stop sharing my slide and screen, and I will take up questions now. Yeah. So Nitish, should we
Sir,
take
I can.
questions?
Yes, sir. I think we should take questions. So the first question we have got is by Aruneshwar. He's asking that do we need to file patent for the innovative distribution system?
Okay. See, innovative distribution system. As I mentioned, you can file patent for any product or process. So this system may be a process, maybe you're doing something. You should at least check the threshold of patentability, right? But do not ignore that it cannot be patented. You should think of these things, right? You should check the patentability. And if we want to have a digital answer from me, since we all are engineers, we can talk in digital as well. So yes, you can file a patent for innovative distribution system.
Yes, sir. And next question we have by Nihal. He's asking that what are main legal issues we should consider while starting this startup?
Okay. See, of course, legal issues related to number of things. First is company compliances, right? Which which is overlapped with financial compliances. Company registration. When you do a company registration, right? Whosoever has done it, the MCA will say you cannot have this company name because trademark is there. So before zero time or before buying a domain, you should do a due diligence of trademark. You should coin a word, file a trademark application, and see whether this name is available in MCA or not. Right? That is really important. And then you should first, if you are developing a product, first of all see if you are taking inspiration from a company, see whether that company has a patent or not, they have a trademark or not. And if that resource is not there, then you file a patent application. At least file a provisional patent application. Everybody must file a provisional patent application because this will safeguard your number of things. Many a times startups say, I can't disclose my idea to you. Why? Because if you steal it, you file provisional patent application, which gives the priority date to you. After that date, if someone else file a patent for this, right, you can prove that this I have blocked this idea, I have filed patent application on this date. So after that, this is my idea, right? You will get a patent or not, that's a different thing. But provisional patent application you should do. And when you are going to speak to investors, mention patent pending, mention Indian patent application number. This gives you credibility, right? So everybody must think of filing provisional patent application for sure.
Yes, sir, absolutely. And sir, next question we have by Prachi. She's asking that from where we can design a good creative trademark before filing the trademark.
See, design of a trademark, right? It's not designing. For example, I can take an example of this, like Bodhic Ventures, right? So we took around 15 days to come to this name, Bodhic, right? So from where I derived, we were into intellectual property, right? It comes to be a simple thing that okay, intellectual means Bodhic in Hindi. Let's use Bodhic Ventures. No, but this Bodhic thing came to my mind from my name only, right? For example, Vivek means Buddhi, and Buddhi means intellectual. Intellectual means Bodhic. So that was my way of arriving to this name. But designing is not, it's all your thought process. What do you want to project? See, we as a Bodhic venture want to project ourselves that we are your intellectual partners. We can ideate with you by using intellectual property. We can create and we protect your intellectual property. So that's why we used Bodhic Ventures. And this logo itself projects that we are talking about something intellectual. So designing, there are people who design logo, you can hire them, right? But the main effort should come from the founder's end. What do you want to project?
Yes, and sir, right now we have three similar kind of questions by Tanmay, others, and Prachi. They all are asking that TikTok is like Chingari, and WhatsApp is like GeoChat, and then Uber, Ola Sir, they're asking that why the parent company, the first company, is not suing the new one.
Okay. So see, Uber and Ola. Uber doesn't have a patent in India because getting a software patent per se for this kind of system is not allowable, right? And there's another reason. Even if, for example, software patents are allowed to some extent in India, why Uber didn't sue Ola? Because when Uber came, right, Uber was an American company. They don't understand the psyche of the driver. They don't understand the consumer. So they let Ola to market the product. Let Ola give the knowledge to the customers that you can share ride. You can hire a taxi on your mobile. So they let Ola do all these things to create this need, because before Ola and Uber we were not in need, right? I mean, we don't need it, but because of Ola, this need has been created, and Uber ride on it by providing better services. So that's why they didn't sue Ola. If they could have sued Ola, because in India we have a like 100 crore plus population, Uber cannot serve everyone. And if Uber is the sole person in the country, and if they cannot serve everyone, then this will be termed as a failure because they cannot satisfy the customers. That's why this Ola has been coexisting. Coming to the WhatsApp and TikTok and Chingari, so they are they are particular software. There might be a copyright infringement, right? So there's nothing, no technical effect in it. And of course, maybe when this GeoChat or this Chingari will become big, TikTok may come after Chingari. Not in India, maybe in China, right? It depends. So this all infringement part is all about business. If my competitor is helping me to have a market, I should not sue them. Why Ericsson didn't sue Micromax in 2007? Why did they sue them in 2012? Because they know, let people use it, right? Then only I will make money out of it. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And sir, next I would like to take you on the organizer perspective. We have talked about patents and all. So right now I would like to ask you that your insights on the organizer perspective. Like as an organization, like what kind of policies should be there, like as a sexual harassment policies and the employee and employee relationships. What kind of legal aspects should be there in a company while hiring the employees and all these organizer perspective? What's your insight on the legal aspect on that?
Okay. On that, see, whenever you must have an IP policy in the company, right? If someone invents something, a patentable innovation, he should be awarded, right? Like Alcatel has policies way back. They used to pay around €1,000 or some 5,000 euros, right? That should be. And whenever a person is, you're hiring a person, you should sign a non-disclosure agreement with your employees. And it should be a strong non-disclosure agreement, not the Google template you have downloaded and do it, right? Like for example, in our companies, the NDA says that if anyone finding like breaching any of the terms of agreement, they have to pay 1 CR straightforward. This is the clause, right? So you should have such kind of non-disclosure agreements, right? And you should have an IPR policy. And in employment agreement itself, non-solicitation things are there, right? And uh, plus any invention, if your employee is doing, being employed in the company, whether staying in company or outside company, that particular invention belongs to the company. The intellectual property clause should be there in the employment agreement itself. And what is the IPR policy here, right? Everybody should read one patent of the technology of the company, of other competitors, and come to the management or discuss in the team every fortnight. Discuss what you learned from the patent of the other competitors. Try to innovate something from it. So these are the legal and procedural policies in an organization one should have.
Yes. And sir, I would like to ask the audience, and sir, I think I cannot see any questions from the audience. So, sir, I would like to also ask you that as an beginner, as a student right now, who is studying in the college. So, what are the things that that kind of mistakes he could have done while starting his business? What kind of mistakes he could have done in the legal aspect?
Okay. So first of all, when you are working on a concept, right? You are working on R&D and all. First of all, in the college, it happens. You think that that is your Eureka moment, and you speak with 5 to 6 people directly, like during evening tea and in the mess, right? You just speak about it. Don't do it. Pen down your idea, right, and send it to someone, like maybe your parent or maybe the person whom you trust, on email, that today I got this idea, right? Write about this idea. That's embark. That gives you a date and the name as an evidence that you have come to this idea. The idea was disclosed by you, right? Then do a due diligence. See whether this is patentable or not. Speak to other people under the confidence, that whom you know, and then try to work around, because it's really important to secure the data, to have a log like log book, right? You have to have a log for your idea.
Yes, sir. And sir, next question we have by Jigyansu is asking that, sir, as you mentioned that international and the national patent, so can you give a brief details about that difference?
Okay. Yeah, so there is no global patent. There is no global patent. So if you want to have a patent, for example, if there is a patent in US, you cannot have that patent in India, because to have a patent, your concept should be new in respect of disclosures worldwide. It should not be disclosed anywhere in the world. You will get the patent. However, if you have an Indian patent, you can only enforce your Indian patent in India. You cannot enforce your Indian patent in US. So if you want to enforce your patent in US, you have to file patent application in US claiming priority from India. Now coming to the international patent application, that is a filing facility that gives you more time to file application in individual countries. So that is just an international application, but there is no international patent. That has to be clear.
Yes, sir. And the next question we have by Prachish is asking that these non-disclosure agreements that you are talking about should be disclosed with the lawyer, or we can just ourselves design if possible at our end.
See, as I mentioned, you should discuss with lawyers who are experts in non-disclosure agreement, because, for example, like I always give this example to everyone, right? You are an expert, you are an inventor, you are an expert of technology, right? But you are not expert of law, correct? That's why you need a team of experts. You may be like, for example, if you are in college, you have faculty of law. You can go and speak to your peers there who are doing law. They have a good, better understanding, right, of the law. And the main simple example there is that if there is a dentist and he has a cardio problem, he will not cure himself. He will go to a cardiologist, correct? Similar thing, if you have any issues related to legal, finance, look for experts. And since you are in a college and a university, you have different faculties. You can try finding a helping hand in the sense of faculty or in your sense of your peers there. So don't try to do everything yourself.
Yes, sir, true. And we have by Sumit, he's asking that is our investment and intellectual property? So what's your insight on that?
See, yes, intellectual property, it's an investment, because, for example, right, in this microphone, I have invested around 1 lakh already for doing the manufacturing, right? But I know the returns are very high. So that's an investment, but it has to be calculated well. As I mentioned, right? It is an asset, as mentioned in one of the comment. It is an asset for you, and it comes into your balance sheet whenever the asset has been calculated. So think it as an investment, but make investment very, very carefully. That's why I said don't file patent just for sake of patent.
Yes, sir. And the next question we have by Jigyansu is asking that if a company is old and well established and a new company comes and has a patent on the same idea, so can they file a case and win?
So you cannot have a patent on same idea. For example, it is already disclosed. So if you have
Sir,
any,
he's ask,
yeah.
sir, Yes, sir. He meant that if the company is old and maybe they haven't filed any patent, and there's a new company, it came and it filed a patent, and the old company is then trying to sue them. So can they do that?
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying if the patent is there, right? Patent application is there, and it is patentable, means the idea cannot be ditto of the old company because that is already in public domain disclosed. You cannot have patent on this. Coming to my example of Pune company which sued Royal Enfield. This Pune company is a new company. Royal Enfield is an old company. They manufacture something. This Pune company come with a new concept, new idea, like in the electrical part of it. They file patent in US and they are suing Royal Enfield. So the example to this question is straightforward. Yes. See the example of Pune company who sued Royal Enfield in US.
Yes, sir. And the next question is by Nihal, that he's asking that where to find the patents that have already in the market. I think, sir, you have answered this question to go to the patents and search it for it.
Yeah, there are patent databases. Just write on Google patent databases. You will find Google patent, eSpaceNet, means number of patent scope, not Google Scholar, Google patents. Google Scholar is only for literature.
Yes, sir. And I think, sir, our time has also ended.
Yeah.
And so, sir, before ending this webinar, a message and advice that you would like to give all our participants.
Sure. So I just want to ensure or want to mention this. Don't reinvent the wheel. Do your due diligence properly. Ensure you file provisional patent application. Don't do it things on your own. If you have a query, reach out to an expert, reach out to an helping hands, right? You have all these people like Harsh and Nitesh, you guys are doing really, you can reach out to them, right? Don't let your idea go public without any efforts in patenting it. So that's my very crux advice. Yeah. So I think Nitesh. Uh, thank you everyone. So, and I hope I did justice to your 1 hour, right? Please feel free to reach out to us at the email address
And
mentioned. Yeah, I think Nitish. So you can feel free to write to me on connect@bodicventures.com. You can reach out to Harsh, Nitish, right? And yeah, Nitish is back. Nitish, you are in mute. Nitish, you are in mute.
yes, sir, I think right now I'm audible. And this
Yeah.
is the ending time. And so, Student Entrepreneurs LLPU and Startup India would like to thank you for coming in this webinar and delivering such an insightful, your knowledge, your wisdom. So, I think all of us are going to remember it, and we all are going to apply it in our own life. And thank you so much, sir, for
Thank you.
all your.
Thank you, Nitish.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much,
Harsh,
sir.
for
Thank you,
organizing
And
Vivek,
this.
sir.
and I would like to also thank all the participants who have been very interactive and for attending this amazing webinar. I hope everything is amazing. All of you are going to implement all these learnings from this webinar. So thank you so much to all the participants as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Nitish Topo, and I'm signing off.